Hi guys, welcome to On the Couch with Steve, a podcast where we help you navigate the often complex world of buying and selling real estate here in Ipswich in sunny Queensland. I'm Steve Athanades, I'm the owner of NG Real Estate here in Ipswich. I'm joined today by a great friend of the show, Matthew Taylor Farrington from Purple Bunny Marketing. Matthew,
I'm back.
Thank you. Good?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Lovely. Mate, we're going to have a chat today, and you said to me you wanted to have a bit of an understanding of what's going to happen in the fourth quarter of 2024.
Yep.
We are in September.
Yes.
This is spring. We are in prime selling season.
Yep.
So we're going to have a quick chat about what we think is going to happen in the fourth quarter of this year and why.
Yeah. Well, I guess what sparked the conversation was, we continue to see house prices go up. We continue to see that climb. And do we think it's sustainable? But I think the other thing that flagged it was, we saw Mike Boris, Yellow Brick Road. He was on Channel 7 the other day, and he was talking about what it would mean if rates were to pause and or start to drop, and the fact that he alluded to that fact that the prices would in fact probably continue to rise. So what's your take on that? What's your opinion of that?
Yeah, look, I would tend to agree. Obviously, Mark's a very astute gentleman, widely considered an expert within the property market, obviously very renowned. So I guess a person worthy of respect and listening to.
Yes.
So now, obviously, at the moment, as of our last podcast, Reserve Bank kept rates on hold.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what will they do next one? Who knows? But we predicted they would probably keep them on hold again.
Yep.
Since our last podcast, in terms of the interest rate announcement, which was to remain on pause or on hold, inflation has gone up again.
Yes.
So not moving in the wrong direction. Some of those economic indicators probably tend to indicate that, again, rates may be left on hold.
Again. Yep.
Again, you'll start all the speculation where people will start to say again, are they going to go up?
Yes.
And so instead of we've been talking maybe they're going to come down, now there'll be speculation, are they going to go up again? In the media, there's been lots of criticism of the reserve, the treasurer saying it's the Reserve Bank's fault, and then the opposition says it's the government's fault that cost of living so high, inflation's high, everything's high. Whose fault it is? For the average punter out there, we don't care whose fault it is. It's expensive. It's expensive, and we need some relief.
Correct.
And obviously, for the biggest chunk of the population, the best way to get relief is in terms of an interest rate cut and obviously a reduction in our home loan repayments.
Yep.
So, do I agree with Mr. Boris? Yes, I do. And the interesting thing about what will happen even if interest rates go down, okay, what he was saying, and said it very articulately throughout that piece, is that it doesn't really matter if the price, the interest rates go down, because it has an unusual effect. And the effect is, if interest rates dropped by 1%, and this is the example that he uses, the borrowing capacity of every person then increases by 10%. So effectively, interest rates going down by 1% increases your borrowing capacity by 10%. So if you were looking at a $500,000 mortgage, all of a sudden you can now afford a $550,000 mortgage. If you've got $1 million mortgage, you can afford a $1.1 million mortgage.
Yes, correct.
Now, if that happens and everyone's borrowing capacity increases, the prediction is house prices will continue to rise.
Climb. Yep.
So you heard it here first on the Couch with Steve. If interest rates go down, borrowing capacity goes up.
Yep.
House prices in turn go up.
Yes.
Okay. There is, in terms of if you're a buyer, there is no real relief in sight. Okay. People think that at some point in time it's going to turn, and there will be relief for buyers. No one really sees that coming at all.
No. And I hear it a lot. I hear a lot of people say, it's got to burst soon, or we're going to see it drop, or it's going to start to come down. But all the indicators are suggesting the complete opposite. You've got people like Mike Boris who are saying Actually, no. If interest rates drop, we're probably going to see it climb. And as he pointed out, we've become very repayment driven. So for us, or for mortgage holders, I guess, as long as they can afford that mortgage repayment, a $500,000 home versus a $550,000 home is probably not going to make that much difference in the repayments. So for them, the affordability is there, basically, is what he's saying. Yeah,
people only focus on their repayment. As long as they can afford the repayment, they don't care that their debt level raised from 500 to 550.
Correct.
As long as they can afford the repayment, the average Australian does not care.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the other thing that he did say is that we are so closely tied to the American economy.
Yes.
Is that the federal treasurer in the US has basically indicated that at some point in time, he will drop interest rates.
Yes.
He just hasn't said when.
Yeah.
Now, the same thing is being said here. Everyone widely believes the interest rates will drop, but no one knows exactly when.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we've got the treasurer of the US saying that he will drop interest rates, okay, we can only naturally assume that because we're so closely linked to that US economy, that we will follow suit.
Yeah.
So again, we can't offer you an exact timeline of when it will happen, but we believe ultimately interest rates at some point in time will reduce.
Yeah.
That will increase your borrowing capacity, okay, which will in turn continue to drive house prices
up
higher.
Which leads us to the point which you say in every podcast, when is the right time to buy, Steve?
Right now.
Correct.
Matthew, right now. We need to buy right now because effectively, and we've talked about this repeatedly in the podcast, the housing market is a safe haven.
Yes.
You can basically buy today and time will take care of you. If house prices continue to rise at the same rate that they have, which is roughly 3% per quarter, you can buy a house today for $600,000. Okay, so that's towards the lower end of our market,
correct.
And a level of affordability that most of the population can afford. So if you buy a house today for $600,000, if you hold it for 12 months and do absolutely nothing, in 12 months from today, on the balance of probabilities, that house will be worth 12% more, and you will pick up something like $70,000 to $75,000 worth of equity for doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Now, to the average punter out there, are you in a position that you could save off your weekly, fortnightly, monthly wage? Could you save $70,000 to $75,000 in 1 year?
No.
The short answer for 99.9% of the population is no way.
Correct.
Could I save 70 to 75 grand? So what's the answer? Work hard, save your deposit, buy a house and buy it quickly, and then gain equity from doing nothing except for owning a property.
Yeah.
This is quintessentially the great Australian dream.
Yes.
Buy a house and you will make money by default. All right? So for people looking to get in the market, our message from this podcast for the fourth quarter of 2024 is buy and buy right now.
Yep.
Okay? Our message for investors in the fourth quarter of 2024 is buy and buy right now.
Yep.
Okay? All of this buying should be done through NG Real Estate in Ipswich, of course. Okay?
Yes.
We do have some competitors, but let's just forget about them. Let's just buy through NG Real Estate here in Ipswich, and we'll obviously look after you. Any sellers out there, please come to us. We're having record months. We'd love to be able to assist you. We will look after you and get you the best possible price.
Yep. Well, I think that's all I've really got about it. I mean, we did talk in the last podcast about investors, and we saw some stuff happening down in Victoria and then moving up, and obviously you just asked for investors to contact you. But what sort of pockets, if they are looking, would an investor look at in the Ipswich market? Where are we seeing those types of areas that would benefit an investor?
Okay, a couple of fundamental reasons why interstate investors should look here in Ipswich.
Yep.
Okay, and in Queensland in general. No land tax.
Yep.
Okay, so you don't have that ongoing yearly commitment in terms of another expense. Okay, so big saving there. Capital growth. I said in the last podcast, the best indicator of future capital growth is current capital expenditure.
Yes.
We're spending a bomb. When I say we, the taxpayer and the Queensland government are spending a bomb on the infrastructure associated with the 2032 Olympics, and will continue to do so for the next 8 years.
Yep.
Okay, so that current capital expenditure is what's going to drive house prices.
Yes.
Relative to a lot of the other states, Queensland used to be one of the cheaper states.
Yes.
We've recently overtaken Victoria, where our median house price is now higher than Victoria. We believe it will continue to rise.
Yep.
So effectively, investors will come to this market. The other reason they will come here is they're chasing yield, so return.
Yes.
So return on investment relative to southern states, okay, down there 2-3% return is quite common.
Yep.
Here in Ipswich, you can still quite regularly, and it's quite common to be able to get 5% plus yields. Okay, hard to get 6, but 5 is still quite common.
Yes.
4.5, pretty standard.
Yep.
So the return on investment here is stronger than it is in most of the other states.
Yes.
Rental rates are very low in terms of vacancy rates. Demand is increasingly high. We continue to see strong migration from southern states, people coming to Queensland. So population growth continues to exceed expectations, okay, which placing greater pressure on increased housing, which means prices will go up.
Yep.
Okay, all the indicators for the fourth quarter of 2024 are extremely positive, and our final message for the fourth quarter of 2024 is buy and buy now. Okay?
And at NGU Ipswich.
And at NG Real Estate Ipswich.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
I think we've covered it pretty in detail. Mate, once again, big thank you to Matthew Taylor Farrington from Purple Bunny Market for joining us again. Thank you, mate. Always a pleasure. Mate, for everyone else out there, look, your comments, your feedback is extremely important to us. If you've got anything you'd like to talk about, comment, subscribe to the link below here. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Steve Athanades. I'm the owner of NG Real Estate here in Ipswich. Look forward to seeing you again soon on the Couch with Steve.